Welcome back to the Shortcut Live. We're back at CES 2026, telling you about all the best gadgets that are out there. We have tons on the show today. We're streaming for 2 hours, not 1, but 2 hours today. We are starting on time, and we're back.
It always feels good to start on time.
Oh, it took 3 times.
Right? So we have the gold jackets. We've seen a lot more tech. Yesterday, the show floor opened, and we are ready to talk about the latest tech, including LG wallpaper TVs, a lot of LG products today. Razr just announced their first true foldable. It's not a flip. It's actually a fold phone.
Let's make sure you say Moto. Motorola, that's their first foldable.
Yeah.
Razr foldable.
It is the Razr Fold. And that's the brand. It's Motorola, or Moto, as they like to be called these days. And we have just tons on the show. I'm Matt Swider with The Shortcut, the #1 consumer tech site on Substack. And we're actually streaming on Substack today. That's a new one. I'm joined by our creative director, Kevin Lee, and editor, Max Bondano. How you doing today, guys?
We're well, man.
We got more sleep last night.
I was going to say, I think we're all a little bit more rested today.
It's actually amazing.
Maybe besides you, but
the boss has to stay up and make the deal.
Of course. Yeah. That makes sense.
We have video footage of you dancing the Macarena at 3 a.m.
Who sent that to you? Who were your sources? So, we're going to begin it with those LG products that we saw. We saw Samsung, to be impartial. We saw them yesterday and the day before. So now it's time to talk about LG and what they announced today in the rundown. Kevin, do you want to take that away? You saw some OLED, some micro RGBs, and just everything beyond. So let's go through that first.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is the wallpaper TV spec. Has been around since 2017. Yeah, 2017. So 6 years later, spec is LG W6 OLED Evo. It's thinner. Well, it's actually thicker, but still 9 millimeters thick. It's so I had this set up on a wall, and a glass wall and a regular wall, just so you can see how thin it was. It's crazy. It's thinner than a picture frame.
Wow.
Now it's also stupid bright because it has LG's new hyper radiant technology, color technology. So that's a combination of their new A11 processor and also their four-layer tandem OLED screen. It also has a reflection-free, but it's not like Samsung's glare-free technology, which is like a coating, and it literally makes the screen look matte. So they kind of described it. They didn't quite say it was a coating, or they didn't say it was a coating, actually. They simply said it was not a coating. It's more like an etching of the glass. So basically, matte screens, when they hit with light, they'll diffuse, and that's why they look gray.
Gotcha.
This screen has been etched in a way that it bounces the light back at its source.
Wow.
And then this reduces the amount of reflections down to 3%. Is what they said to me.
Is it like how the Pro Display XDR is treated? Because I know Apple did something similar where they etched the glass.
Well, that's also, it looks diffused, I would say. Like Matt has one here, right? What is that?
Right, the matte display for
Microfiber cloth to it, otherwise you ruin it.
So is this a device that is being, or a TV that's being sold? It's not just a concept?
It's a full-on model. It's a full model release.
You'll be able to buy it at a local Best Buy or electronics store near you. LG always comes up with interesting TV technology. Their displays are out of this world. They just have so much. But seeing this video of it on this glass shows you how thin it is. And they didn't skimp on the performance, which is amazing. So
what you're seeing right now, it's not the W6, it's the G6, the Gallery 6, but that just shows the brightness difference. Like, it's immediately identifiable. It's immediately visible.
It's amazing.
And also, it's got a bunch of AI features, so it's meant to work like a gallery TV also. In fact, they had this thing on this sort of architectural wall. It was blended in. They took a photo wall and were displaying it, and like, you literally couldn't tell it's now part of the wall until you got closer, or you like looked around the side.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, some other stuff about this. It has a zero connect box. That's actually half the size now.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
explain to everybody what the zero connect box is. That
Yeah.
kind of taking the place of AV receivers out there?
yeah. So it has no it has almost no HDMI on the back.
Right.
I think it has one, and then so the rest is it'll Wi-Fi stream all your video, like anything you connect to it, PS5, Xbox, PC, Switch too. Yeah, there's the one connect box. Like that's literally how much smaller it is.
Amazing.
Yeah. And you can put it up to 33 feet away. Yeah. And you can also put it in a cabinet.
Can you
if
put it
want.
in different rooms? Is it?
So you could put it in a cabinet.
Okay.
Room might degrade the signal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes
I
sense.
experienced that with the Samsung QN990 F last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, putting it in a cabinet is nice because you can tuck away
Yeah.
all those wires if you have like a bunch of video game consoles plugged in. So what the TV manufacturers are doing, they're trying to take that TV experience and all the gear you have and separate it from the TV so that there's, they had one cable, that was a thing, and now there are zero cables except for power
Yeah.
connected to your TV. So you don't have a million HDMI cords going into the back of the TV like a lot of the TVs that we own are set up as.
Yes.
So that is very cool.
Mhm.
Do you know when this TV will be on sale? Is it this year?
Double check it right now.
I would assume it's this year.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be available this year. They haven't set quite a date yet,
Right.
or a price. Yeah, no price or availability yet.
That was my next question. The price
Yeah.
on these, I
Now-
feel like that's become a trend at every CES. You have these TVs that are announced post Black Friday at CES, and then Super Bowl happens, and then they come out with the price and the release date. But it's more significant now because of just people adjusting for inflation, for tariffs. All this technology is kind of in limbo. We saw that with the Nintendo Switch 2 a couple months ago, right? Because Nintendo increased the price of accessories. They put the price of the Switch 2 higher than people had expected. So it's been interesting to see retailers or manufacturers hold back before TVs go to retail because they're unsure about prices, about memory, and different things. So
Yeah.
it's been interesting to see
Yeah.
the change in strategy.
The AI is like way faster this time. I will
Good.
say, like, I was telling it to change the volume, change the screen mode to vivid standard filmmaker mode, and then I did some other AI stuff with the C6, but that's coming up next. The last thing is this comes in 77, 83 inches sizes.
So that's interesting. We're seeing the trend towards much larger televisions.
Yeah.
When 77 is the small size.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I feel like it's mostly for these high-end flagships. You can get, your 49 inches, 40 inches, 50 inches, but usually they're not on these top tier. It's on the cusp of being a concept and experimental, but it's for people who are going to spend a lot of money, have a big TV. We saw that with like the transparent TV, the rollable TVs. They're more geared to our higher end audience.
Oh yeah.
And then that technology trickles down to the average consumer that I think all of us are, despite the fancy gold jackets, we're your average consumer.
Exactly.
They said their greatest number of consumers for this kind of TV, the orders are already seeing, it's like people who are building a new house, like an architectural marvel, basically,
Right.
which is what this was modeled after.
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and there's also the way that it's meant to be wall mounted, so that's why it has a zero connect box. So you don't want anything below it. You don't even want a sound bar probably even below it.
Right. You're building your house, your mansion around this TV.
Yeah.
That's really what's happening.
Mhm.
So you start with the TV first.
Next up is the more regular C6. This is the, it's a gamer's TV. And everyone's bought this for their PS5, PC. It's G-Sync for the longest time, so by itself until last year, when Samsung got it too. The C6 has been seriously upgraded. It also usually gets like the bummed down upgrades and like maybe a little bit higher brightness. This year, it gets the hyper radiance color technology also. It gets the new processor, A11. It's way faster. Like all the AI functions. It also like, so last year they did a co-pilot thing, and Gemini, you could ask it like plan your 5-day vacation in Paris or Las Vegas or whatever, but always like would give you a QR code and you have to like scan it to look on your phone or send an email to your desktop or whatever.
Right.
Now it shows the results right on the screen, either from Copilot or Gemini. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, the C series from LG has always sold really well on Black Friday, and usually the previous model goes on sale during Black Friday and sells out basically for really discounted prices. So definitely look out for this one to start really high and over the course of a couple months get lower and lower.
This TV looks amazing. Like, holy crap, I need to upgrade to this. And it's also, so there is one caveat, because there was always a caveat with LG TVs.
Naturally.
When you look at the grid of sizes, only 77 inches and up gets the Hyper Radiance. Everyone else still has just a WOLED screen, just one single layer of OLED.
So it's almost like a pro version, even though it's not named that. It's all about the size. So
they
just
call
like phones, bigger screens equal more specs.
The guy telling me about the LG guy was like, this is the LG G6 Plus, basically.
Interesting.
Or like C6 Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the type of person shopping for this is, they experienced the C4, which was the bomb.
Yeah.
And you have that person who hasn't had a TV upgrade in several years. The C7 seems like the natural progression. C6. It seems like the natural progression for people to want to upgrade because they're not doing it every year. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Now, despite the fact that 65 below don't get the new screen, don't get the new tandem OLED, they do have, LG has promised 20% brighter, higher brightness. And they also get the new processor. So at least you'll have faster AI, faster everything, faster streaming, switching through apps.
Yeah, no, I think the faster processor is one of the biggest new features, right? Because like anytime I'm in one of these TV demos and they're like, look at how cool our AI features are. I'm like, okay, it's interesting, but like it takes like 10 or 15 seconds to process. And I'm like, I just don't want to use that. So is it like it's more instantaneous?
It's more instantaneous, yeah.
Okay.
Like even AI image generation, which you could do for wallpaper stuff.
Yeah.
It took like less than 30 seconds, I would say.
Okay. That's like always my biggest holdup with a lot of these AI features on these TVs, because the processors are sort of like never that good. They're like that well equipped for handling it. But that's interesting. I'll have to try it out when I hit the show floor later.
All right, let's move on to other LG products. But first, I want to encourage a lot of comments. Yesterday, we had a lot of comments. We were, taking your feedback in real time, your thoughts on CES and what you wanted to see announced. So drop a comment, whether you're on X, that's where we're live streaming, YouTube, Substack, Instagram, all the platforms. And Max will read them out. I'm going to task Max with reading out your comments and asking your questions, and we'll answer them live, because that's what we're doing at CES. It's right behind us, reporting every single day. We have one more day of live streaming to go. And we're live in Vegas. All right. What else from LG besides super awesome TVs? They have a lot of home products. And then let's move on to the Motorola Razr Fold. So actually, let's do that now. Motorola Razr Fold. Max, you went and you kind of saw this. We saw it. We kind of went hands-on with this phone. They didn't want to put it in our hands. That's how new and fresh the tech is at CES. No one really got a hands-on experience, but we got to touch the back of the texture.
Matt technically put his index finger on the back of this phone.
They told us to touch it.
That is our definition of hands-on.
Right? Yeah. That qualifies.
It
so
technically qualifies.
That's how new and unique this phone is. It's Motorola's first foldable phone that's a true foldable, a book-style foldable. It reminds me of what Samsung is doing with their Z Fold 7. It reminds me of what Google's doing with their Pixel Fold 10.
Right.
So explain this. Take us through it.
So this is Motorola's first stab at a proper folding phone. They've had Razr phones for probably like almost 7 years now, I think, something like that. That they've been putting out clamshell style phones. This one's their first book style. So it'll remind everybody of the Galaxy Fold, obviously the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. I guess they just figured, let's just give this a shot as well. Looking at it on the surface, it doesn't seem to have a ton of like differentiating factors compared to the other foldables.
They're getting into the action.
They are simply just like, oh, we're just going to throw our hat in this ring.
This is what's working for everybody else. We kind of, I don't want to say dominated, but they're one of two players in the flip style arena, along with the Samsung flip phones.
And I would almost say they have the best one.
Yeah,
I personally feel like that. I know a lot of people like the Galaxy Z Flip a lot, but the Razr Ultra, fantastic clamshell.
It is a great phone.
Clamshell phone.
So how big is the screen? It's 6.6 inches on the cover screen.
And you get a pretty big 8-inch screen once you unfold it, which is like, those are similar dimensions to what we get on the Pixel Fold and the Galaxy Fold. It's a very familiar design to whomever's seen a Motorola phone from like the past 3 years. Has a pretty big camera bump. There's 3 50-megapixel cameras on it. We don't know how big the battery is. We don't know how fast the charging is going to be. I believe there is no Qi 2 charging still, so it sounds like Google's the only one that's offering magnetic charging.
Right, like their version of MagSafe. Google calls it Pixel Snap.
Right.
I think, Motorola's just trying to replicate what is out there, and since not a lot of manufacturers on Android have that MagSafe feature, they're not going to be the first. It's not a groundbreaking phone. I enjoy Motorola software. This is their version of what Samsung is doing. Exactly. So you have an option if you're a fan of Motorola.
I find it's just so interesting because it's not trying to be something entirely new. It is literally just Motorola saying, oh, we should just make one of these. And so they went to the lab, made one, and they're like, okay, here it is.
Right. And it is interesting. You kind of mentioned we don't have the battery life specs. We don't have some of the specs, not because our reporting is lacking. It's more of a case of Motorola is just not sharing that yet. And
we simply don't have those details.
Right.
So we're all just patiently waiting for it.
Do you know it has 3 cameras?
Yes.
And they're all 50 megapixels.
They are all 50. There's a main, there's an ultra wide, and there's a 3x telephoto.
Yeah. They wouldn't let us turn on the cameras, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, when we were talking about it and they explained it, they said 3 50 megapixel cameras, and I was like, 350? That is astounding. It is
not quite.
3 times.
We're not there yet. Maybe in the next 10, 20 years.
I was going to say maybe the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Nothing about this phone is like settled just yet.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's also not final yet.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything finalized about this phone just yet. I think they probably have some things finalized and they're just not telling us because launch strategy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it looks nice.
It ticks the boxes. So like that's something that we're doing at the Shortcut, where we're like, we're going to explain the tech to you. We're going to talk about the exciting stuff, but we're also going to be very authentic and real. We're not influencers, despite having a large following. We just want to kind of set the stage of, these are the expectations that you should have for this phone. If you love Motorola's phones and you're like, I just wish the screen on my Razr Ultra was bigger.
Right.
This is for you.
Exactly. So we have to wait and see how much it's going to cost and everything, because that's going to decide a lot, like whether you should be buying this over a Z Fold 7 or a Pixel 10 Pro Fold.
Yeah.
It's also Motorola's competition to Apple's iPhone Fold, which we're expected to come out in September.
That's going to be the big one. That's going to be the one that, is not going to be an also-ran.
Right.
It's going to be something that's groundbreaking. Apple, the iFold, or whatever you want to call it, whatever they end up calling it,
right,
is going to have a 0 crease, no seam in the middle when it folds. That's according to the rumors. That's going to be very exciting, and I can't wait to see that. Hopefully in September. That's what the current rumors say on a little website called theshortcut.com.
That is what we're seeing on theshortcut.com. That's right.
Love it. And you may have written that story And
I have written a few of those stories.
you'll probably write it again over and over, because there's always new tidbits in those Apple leaks.
Exactly.
And it may be the most exciting phone since the iPhone 10, the iPhone X, as some people called it, because it's a major refresh. And having a foldable phone and iMessage at the same time, it's what I want.
Exactly. But for now, we have the Razr Fold. So,
yeah, very cool. And the parent company of Motorola, which is Lenovo, has some new stuff to show off as well. We got to see some new PCs from them, and that's been probably the most exciting thing that I have seen personally in terms of a concept. And they announced a new AI, but what's powering this Lenovo ThinkBook Plus Gen 7 Auto Twist. Auto Twist is the twist in this technology. It is the ability to have the screen follow you around. So it's a transformable laptop. It has face tracking with the webcam that's in there, and you're able to command the laptop to twist around. And I think that's been the most interesting thing. So we were able to say to this Lenovo laptop, go into tablet mode, and it would kind of twist the screen around and fold down with the screen facing up, so hiding the keyboard. So you're seeing it right now. We saw this at CES right before the show opened, and basically it was following me around. Kevin is there, and
you can command it to do all these things. You can say
with your voice.
What was the name of it again? I forgot now.
Is it Kira or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's like, hey, Kira, laptop mode. Hey, Kira.
Yeah. And then, so it can do face tracking. You're able to say, close the laptop lid, which is super interesting. It's like, I can do a lot of stuff remotely. And I think this type of technology, we've seen Apple kind of do their ability to sway the camera when you're doing a FaceTime.
Hey, Tico. Hey,
Tico. Tico is the name of it. Yes. I just find it kind of fun. So right now you have to say hi, Tico. You can't say hello, Tico.
Hey, Tico. Hello, right. Tico.
Yeah.
Tico.
They don't have the variations in there yet, but it's really a concept that is out there.
Yeah.
It now has some of the ThinkBook specs in there, a little nub that goes, it acts as the mouse that's in the middle of the keyboard, that little red dot. They have that. So
I think the cutest thing was when you could ask it to scan a document on the table. And it'll pop up a little face. It'll be like it'll be like that.
It's very animated.
Yeah.
You can ask it the weather. So yeah.
No, I think we got to try it when we were back in New York for a little bit.
Sure.
And I just remember thinking, this is just way too much fun. I don't know how practical any of it is besides the document thing.
Sure.
But to just tell it to I think you can tell it to have a dance party or something, and it fires up AI generated music or something like that. There's you can have fun with it. It's a very interesting little gadget. Lenovo's always good with that kind of stuff.
I think Lenovo brings the best concepts to the show floor. We're going to have the CES 2026 awards, the Shortcut Awards here. Those are coming out tomorrow. We'll have a final list, but yeah, Lenovo usually brings the best concepts. They had a clear, transparent laptop. They've had.
That's still my favorite of all time.
It was the most interesting thing. I think it was at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona that we first saw that. But they had a solar laptop last year at, I think it was also Mobile World Congress. So, every year they're introducing cool things that eventually make their way into the consumer grade laptops that are out there. So always very cool. Speaking of which, let's move on to the other Lenovo thing that we saw. This is also a concept, but it's something I want right away. This, talk about practicality. This
100%.
It's Lenovo's rollable laptops. They actually have two rollable laptops, the Legion Pro rollable, which is their gaming laptop, and the ThinkPad rollable XD concept. Max, kind of want to take us through those and what that does.
Oh, absolutely. I'm obsessed with the Legion Pro rollable. It is one of the most practical conceptual laptops that we've seen. And I believe it's going on sale, right? Is it going to go on sale?
I don't know.
Maybe
Usually-
we'll fact check that in real time.
Right. But they tell us what it does and what makes it interesting, because a lot of these, whether they're concept or they actually come into production, they usually don't have gaming specs, right?
Right.
Gaming performance. This one does, and the practicality of having a larger screen that expands. Kind of take us through as we kind of watch a video of that expanding in real time. Take us through what it does.
Yeah, so it's literally just a Legion Pro 7i, but with an awesome 16-inch OLED screen that can expand to 23.8 inches. So you get a much wider aspect ratio, and you have a lot more screen real estate to play your favorite games. I think multitasking is going to be huge on this thing. Like, to have a 24-inch monitor in your backpack.
Look at that. That's amazing.
Like, watching it grow and expand like that is so sick. And I think for gamers out there, I think it's going to be just huge, because like gaming on the go will never be the same. Like, you're not going to get this anywhere else. There's no other gaming laptop that can do this thing.
It looks like a magic trick. It's so smooth.
Yes, it does. It did look very smooth in the demo that I saw as well.
Yeah.
And it has all the horsepower too. I think the graphics card is the RTX 5090. So like, you have plenty of performance in this thing to play all your favorite games, and you have this sweet screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just seeing it in action is really cool. One thing I noticed is that the shortcut, no pun intended, is you tap it, and you can tap it twice. So there's different settings of like, different aspect ratios depending on what you want. I find this to be very interesting for not just gaming, but multitasking, because I come from a setup that has a lot of monitors in the office, and I can't take that with me. I'll have the ability to kind of read documents side by side a lot easier. So like that type of thing, it's practical for gaming, but it's also practical for productivity. And so I think that's the best of both worlds. So yeah, just seeing it expand is kind of mesmerizing. That's what CES is all about. It's like these things that catch you off guard, and you're like, oh, not only is that cool and eye-catching, I want to use that in my real life.
And I would love to open the floor to some comments here. What you guys think you would be doing on a laptop like this? Like, how do you think this could be practical in your everyday workflow? Because there's so much versatility with it. I mean, just on the 24-inch monitor on the go, like that is so sick, and it fits in a normal backpack.
It's also like there was one 21 by 9 inch, 21 by 9 aspect ratio laptop a long time ago. It was the Acer Predator X34, I think. That's what they called it.
What a memory.
X21, I forgot exactly.
So it was from Acer. Yeah. I kind of remember this.
So it had it only had a 21 by 9 screen. It was curved. So the whole laptop, the top of it, looked like a seashell. And then it was super wide, super thick. And this one, the screen lid is only like, it's usually a laptop lid's about that thick. This one is about that thick, like only a quarter or third more. Yeah. And it's still light. So it's definitely a practical machine. Yeah. If it ever comes to retail.
Right. The fact that we're seeing that kind of design again, hopefully it sticks this time. And yeah, you'll be having a laptop that's stowable, but also has an expandable screen without, what I do is I take an iPad and use Sidecar, but having it in an all-in-one device that has a little motorized ability to expand, super awesome. Makes it more practical to actually use.
It just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
I think the reason we haven't seen it is there's been a lot of moving parts, and they're trying to miniaturize everything, make it super reliable.
Part of the issue, right?
And that maybe we've reached that point in 2026 where this is actually a viable, consumer-friendly device that you can pick up on store shelves soon.
Right, and this is not the first time we've seen a rollable from Lenovo. They've been experimenting with this form factor for a while.
Yeah.
We also saw an evolution of their first rollable. There's the ThinkPad rollable XD concept.
Yeah, take me through that. So that's on a different level in terms of it's not the gaming device, but it has a similar vibe in that it expands, but in a different direction. Tell me about that.
Exactly. So they have shipped a rollable laptop like that before. It's called the ThinkBook Plus Gen 6 rollable. And instead of expanding horizontally, the screen expands vertically. And so with their new concept laptop, it goes from a 13.3-inch screen to a taller 15.9-inch screen. And what's interesting about this one is the display wraps around to the other side. So you have like some functionality even when the laptop is closed.
That's cool.
You can open it up, expand it, and you can, see little animation stuff back there. You can have widgets if you want. It's a very quirky. It looks very futuristic. It's a very conceptual laptop, but I think a bit less practical than the gaming option.
So this is the ThinkPad Rollable XD concept, and something I really liked that they had on the back of the device is that you can see the mechanism that is making the screen expand. So they made the back transparent. Yeah. It's the coolest thing I've seen, where they could have just made it so it's all like, you can't see anything. And they said, you know what? We're going to make our rollable TVs or laptops, we're going to tell you how it works. A lot of manufacturers love to hide that stuff. Lenovo is making
they just show all the guts, and as nerds, we love to see that. Like it looks so awesome to like watch the little motors and everything operate.
Right. Ever since the N64 days, like I wanted those transparent controllers.
Exactly.
So this is on that level, but for your laptop that expands and goes up. So super cool to see that in action and at Lenovo's booth at CES. Probably for me, that between that and the Legion Pro rollable, probably best concept out there.
I would agree. It's definitely like the flashiest.
Yeah. So can you hand me that award? There we go.
Ta-da.
These are CES awards, the shortcut best of CES 2026. We are going to hand these out tomorrow. So we're seeing more stuff. This is day 2 of the show floor opening. So this is going to be something that we show off at different booths as we drop off around roughly 15 awards. So stay tuned for the best of CES technology from us, and you will see that soon. Looks good. Says, check this out. Welcome. On Instagram too, which we get a lot of viewers on X and YouTube, but seeing the Instagram audience show up, thank you for doing that. So super awesome. We'll have the Shortcut Awards coming out tomorrow and the next day. So stay tuned for that.
Speaking of awards, our next thing is actually award winning already.
Yes. So we already dropped off an award. We're going to kind of preview this ahead of time because when we saw it, we were very impressed. It's from a little company, you may have heard of them, called NVIDIA. They're in the news every once in a while.
I was going to say, I think I've seen their name before somewhere.
Yeah, they're riding high these days, but they haven't stopped, and they're introducing something called DLSS 4.5. That 0.5 is what's new. Kevin, tell us what's there.
Okay, so there's 2 elements to this already, like most things. The first thing is they have a Transformer Gen 2 model. Transformer Gen 1 was a new thing they introduced last year, yeah. So basically, it was improved details with upscaling. Now they've made the details even better, even clearer. So we saw a demo with Wukong Black Myth, and they were able to like switch it on and off, switch between the 2 versions just by hitting 2 keys. So like when you flip it on, you could see like in the wood grain detail, there was better reflections in the trees, like
better texture.
The bush, better leaves, better separation of leaves. There was other aspect. The other aspect
footage we took yesterday, and it was amazing. Look at that, that like almost HDR quality. It's great.
You could also see, see there just those reflections just popped in there. Yeah, that's how much better detail is with this.
Because we were turning DLSS 4.5 on and off, and it was showing the differences.
You could also see in the trees. Yeah. It's a little less clear on this recording. There it goes.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like upscaling on your TV, but for gaming, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the perfect analogy for it, because it's like there's good AI and bad AI, where it's not AI swap. In this case, what NVIDIA is doing is making it easier for your hardware to not get taxed as much, so it can fit into smaller form factors and be much more lean in performance on things that normally wouldn't be possible on this generation of graphics cards.
For that, like for example, like I can play a 4K game at 60 FPS on a 5060. That was like a dream with a 3090 a couple of years ago.
Wow. It all looks really good.
Yes, and they also increased the multi-frame generation to 6 times versus 4, maximum 4.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned this yesterday, multi-frame generation, but I'll bring it up again. It's basically for every real frame, you can produce a fake frame to make the animation look smoother. You can do this up to 6 times now. So I gave the example like Steamboat Willie with Mickey Mouse. You have one frame where he might have his wheel here, or he's whistling that way, and then he switches directions.
Yeah.
This helps smooth it out if there's just like, it just goes from here to here.
Sure. All right, Kevin, I'm going to have you bring on our first guest who's waiting outside.
Okay.
Our first guest on the Shortcut live stream.
Our very first guest.
Our very first guest in
And it's
studio.
a good one. It's a good one.
It's a great one. So Kevin's going to go and get our first guest while Max and I kind of reset the stage here, because we're literally on a stage at CES 2026.
Can I make a comment about the stage that we are on?
Please.
Because it feels like
Give us the inside baseball.
we're like, how many feet in the air do you think we are? We're like a decent way up.
Yes.
10 feet maybe?
10 feet.
15 feet, something like that. Every 5 to 10 minutes, it feels like this thing's going to topple over.
There's
I
a lot of
feel like
action
there's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Sure.
But then there's like people walking by outside of our door,
Yes.
and it just feels like the whole thing's swaying back and forth. I don't know if we're actually going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
I
Welcome
can't
to the
quite
West
tell.
Coast, buddy.
I
the
don't
thing.
know. I don't know.
All right.
Unfortunately, you have to go around this way.
And he will make his way around. Ladies and
make his
gentlemen,
way.
we have our first guest here, Noah,
Hey,
our friend from
Good
Nomad
morning.
Goods.
Noah
Good to
from
see you.
Nomad.
good to see you
Great
guys.
to
Noah
see
from
you.
Nomad.
Yeah, take a seat here.
Got my goodie bag of things.
I love a good goodie bag at CES. We're going to see what you have.
I like
Nomad
that lanyard.
is one of our favorite companies.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
Love you guys. Appreciate it.
thank you. Yeah, the Shortcut always features Nomad Goods, and there's no getting mad about it. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if I've heard that one. I like it.
I'm genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm genuinely surprised you haven't heard from me yet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Noah, we're just gonna have you get a little bit closer to that microphone, Kev. If you
Yeah,
want to move my hand
great.
over. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Noah, how's CES been for you? Have you seen anything cool yet? Have you,
So the show's always wild. I hear it's a big one this year. This is my first time in the past 3 or 4 years even making it to the show floor. We typically lately have been exhibiting in suites. We used to have a booth and do the whole thing on the show floor. Love the show floor. But the past couple of years, I just haven't even made it to the show floor. So it's
Oh my
exciting
gosh.
to be here to check it out. And it's absolutely wild. And I got a ride over here with a group that was with Reebok. So there's all kinds of companies here. Reebok Health. Everyone's in CE these days. My first show, 2013, I think it was a little bit more like consumer electronics. And now it's like cars, health, everything.
wow.
Yeah.
Everyone's a tech company these days.
Yeah. No kidding. It does feel like every brand is just here
It's crazy.
because they have something. It's always like AI or something like that.
AI.
you know?
I was talking to
yeah,
a
go ahead.
librarian last night from San Jose State University, and he was here to AI library stuff. I thought it was so cool. Libraries are so important, but I just wasn't expecting it. He said there's 13 librarians here.
That's amazing. Lego is one of the standout companies that really hasn't exhibited here before, and they're making waves with like the next generation of Legos right now. So
Yeah.
super interesting to see the diversity of companies that are at a tech conference. So very,
I love me
very
some
awesome.
Lego.
Yeah. What do you think of the outfits?
I love it. Standing out.
Do you
should
feel
come to-
a
You
little
just
bit
fishing for a
underdressed?
compliment or something?
You'll
What is
stand
this?
out at our party tonight. The theme is rodeo, but you'll look good.
I like it. If you feel underdressed, we do have an honorary first guest jacket for you if you would like to wear it.
Sure, let's throw it on.
Let's throw it on. Let's do it.
Max, while you guys are, can you tilt this camera up a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so Kevin, you can grab that jacket over there. All right. Tell us about founding Nomad and what your background is and how you came about that.
So I was living in Madrid, Spain, and I was having this problem. This was in 2011, where my phone was always dying. Anyone who knows Spain, you stay out quite late over there. So it'd be 2, 3, 4 in the morning. People's phones are dying. People are going home. We called it battery death anxiety. You saw someone going home and you realized it was just that their phone was dead. And I was like, there's got to be a better way, right? And we were, in Europe, you have those big AC adapters that have the two massive prongs sticking out. So you got your skinny jeans and the prongs sticking out. And it's like, there's got to be a better way. So I wanted a hyper minimalist cable. I go on Alibaba, I look searching, and I'm seeing nothing out there. And of course, I'm thinking to myself, something like this has to exist. And it didn't. So I actually connected with someone from the mobile team at the company I was working at. It was a online social network. And he recommended doing it, this little cable the size of a SIM card. And of course I said to him, like coming in a credit card, I said to him, no, that's stupid. It could be smaller. I get down the elevator and I'm leaving the office and I think, no, he's right. That's brilliant. So important to listen to people and feedback. You can just be a sponge for good ideas. And so I came back to the US and met up with an incredible co-founder, Brian. And we're still working together to this day. And we launched it on Kickstarter. I had just learned about Kickstarter earlier that year through this incredible clock that like does one revolution in a year. They just have these beautiful, amazing concepts that they bring to life. And I thought this is a way to find early backers to support this and get product validation. Our goal was 50K. We did 160K. On day 2, we went viral in the Netherlands. And I was like, if we're viral in the Netherlands, maybe we have a shot at this. And the rest is history, as they say. The campaign ended in August, and we were live on Shopify with our site. The next year, we had our second product, Charge Key, which we just launched a new version of relatively recently, and the hyper minimalist cable that fits on your keychain. And so
love the Charge Key.
I've got one of the new prototypes on my keychain. So this guy absolutely loved the Charge Key.
Oh,
do you want to show it us soft?
Yeah. So the best cable is really the one that you have with you. So I can confidently say we make the best cable. This is also 10 gigabits per second data transfer.
You probably put on the table there, get a nice background
of power. Or is that one 100 watts? We have different versions, and we're updating them to be best in class. So
super small too.
The idea is, if you think of your traditional nomad, they have a bow and arrow or a sword. Well, this is the sword of the 21st century. So we keep you sharp, we keep you outfitted, we keep you charged, organized, we keep your gear protected. And that's what we're all about. And so there's an ancient connection with outfitting people for the modern day. When you think of who is this modern nomad? It's a soccer mom. It's a busy executive. It's a busy executive soccer mom. It's the irresponsible kid who needs to steal power from their friend. You can charge off of someone else's phone. It's me charging my AirPods from my phone. It's in emergencies, or it's just your everyday. So this thing's so important. When I got my first cell phone at 16, if you left home without it, you didn't think twice. You didn't go back to get it. It didn't matter. I didn't even have Snake. I had a Samsung. So fast forward a few years later with Blackberries, before iPhone took over, and all of a sudden this phone really had meaning and purpose, and it really empowered you. So when we look at how the phone's being used today for health and wellness and business and comms, I think I was flying Spirit Air one time, and if you didn't have the smartphone app, they would literally charge you. So there are instances now where you must have a smartphone. Like, you can't even have a dumb phone to fly. I guess you can pay their silly fee, but
that's amazing.
So to see the evolution of the phone as a platform has been really interesting.
And so for people who want to buy this, what's the title of the product? So
this is Charge Key, and this is one of our kind of flagship products that we have. I got a couple other things. One of the fun things about our company is on any given moment, I'm like Inspector Gadget pulling things out of my pockets, because I probably have 5 or 6 of our products in use at any time. So that's the Stratos band there, and this is what I'm wearing. We launched this just a couple of months ago, and it was in development for a couple of years. And we actually got knocked off. It was really annoying. Just knockoffs are rampant. I guess it's a compliment, but it's really annoying. And it's titanium fluoroelastomer. It's a hybrid band, so it's got a magnetic clasp here. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds of like sports and style. And we were live with Apple Watch products in 2015 when Apple first launched. We were very excited, and like I can show you here, we have a pod. This was the first product charger that was made for Apple Watch in 2015.
Oh, wow.
So we're kind of an early mover in areas.
Love that. Very cool. I'm always without power. That's one of my biggest things. So
you and me both.
Yeah, that's the power to you. I have one of these Apple Watch bands. It's a different color though. So you have multiple colors. It's the blue. I think mine is orange.
This is sample blue. And I threw in some other links in there too, including a little sneak peek of a little glow item we have coming up.
Oh, all right. The Shortcut exclusive.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so Kevin has
The
the,
live demo.
close-up camera.
I gotta say, wearing the Stratus Band is like it's so comfortable, and you can wear it to the gym and you can wear it to the bar afterward if you want to. Like it's so versatile.
It goes well with your jacket.
I have a feeling I know who picked out these jackets.
Absolutely. Oh, the bow ties too. Kind of, we get a lot of whistles when we walk the show floor. Oh yeah. I'm like, ladies, my eyes are up here. All right, let's give it. So all right, this tracker that you have, is I tried to get it once and it was sold out. Like that's how popular
it is a hot item.
It is a hot item.
Always a hot item.
So trackers have been, you can't talk about the past year at Nomad without talking about the role that our tracking cards have played. Our Air, which is the smaller, thinner one, we've been live with for longer. And then this is the Pro. So it's got a little bit longer battery life. And we're actually back ordered on these. They're a hot commodity. We'll be back in stock in a couple weeks. And yeah, Find My as a feature is just really incredible. I mean, this day and age, I like to have my things integrated together. You see, I've got my wallet phone. So in the morning, I can grab 2 or 3 things instead of like 5 or 6. Mentally, there's only so many tabs you can have open. Where is my this? Where is my that? So having tracking cards charged up, having air tags, Find My integrated in things and things connected together is really important for sanity. Like my joke is that like we're a mental health company. We're helping you keep your gear together so you don't lose stuff. And it's just more important than ever these days.
That is so true. It's usually once a day that I'm looking for my wallet.
Yeah.
And I don't have one of these yet, but I really, really want one. I have one that I got several years ago from, I don't think it exists anymore, Etsy.
Okay.
Right? Someone broke apart an AirTag.
I love it.
And they
threw it in that.
separated the battery.
That's brilliant.
And it was early on, but then you came along and made it kind of an all-in-one device.
I love true Etsy products where they're really making something like that, not just
That's a nice one.
That's the
flip version.
You have our Pro.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't have one. It's because Max takes the review samples.
That's right.
And goes, I'm gonna try to get you one, and then it was sold out. So
Oops.
no, it's super awesome, and like I'm interested in seeing what Apple does. There's a rumor that there's going to be a next version of AirTag. I'm interested in seeing what they can do.
We follow it so closely, and we're ready. I think we all want thinner. We all want better battery life.
Yes.
We all want a rechargeable battery would be really nice. That's a big question. Are they going to do that or not? You know, there's some environmental aspects one way or the other.
Right.
I would prefer wireless. Ours is wireless. But you know, those replacing those little cells, battery is wireless is easy. It's easy to charge. You know, so even if the battery doesn't last as long, for example, it's longer now in our Pro, but it's just so easy to charge.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, you can just set it right down on one of their Qi 2 chargers, and it works perfectly.
I really feel like sometimes, especially in Vegas, when we're in multi-story complexes, all these buildings, especially hotels, it's like, wait, what floor are you on? And getting some like sea-level type of translation for people like, oh, this person, you are not at that stadium level. You're on a different level. That would be cool technology. I don't know if Apple could do that, but like, since we're talking about next gen, versions of tracking, that could be cool.
Yeah, there've been advancements with their ultra wideband and stuff, and it's crazy because in a situation like Las Vegas or like in China or something, you could be in a location where your thing is and still be totally lost, or it's like it's in this hotel room. Okay, which of the 10 surrounding rooms is it in? What if something's been stolen? So I think there's some feature aspects that they can unlock or unleash as well. And it's tricky because you have the aspect of tracking, so they don't want people covertly having them. But at the same time, if someone steals my shit, I don't want it beeping.
Yes. Right. One of the things that confuses me about, whether it's the Samsung Tracker 2 that we have or the Apple tracking ecosystem is my laptop and phone rely on power from the device.
Yeah.
It's easier to find a pair of keys or a wallet because those devices can't really be, necessarily turned off. Right. But if my phone runs out of battery, sometimes it has last location in there, but it doesn't have real-time updates. So I've gotten phones lost or stolen in, say, the desert. I went to Morocco and like all of a sudden my phone wasn't there. It it was probably dropped somewhere in the sand.
Yeah.
But if it was on the move, I would be able to, if I attached one of these trackers to it, I would be able to see where it was. But
Yeah.
something that is, significantly cheaper than a phone seems to be more accurate on telling me what I need to know. So
Yeah, it's a funny point that you make, because your phone is obviously probably the number one thing you don't want to lose, and the battery will, run out in a day, even if no one's stolen it and it's just riding along somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I'm someone who I often have a tracking card in here in the folio. I mean,
Smart.
space is precious there, so you got to be careful, but a little bit of redundancy can give a little peace of mind in that situation. But I think Find My is, we were building a card that holds the AirTag so you can put it in your wallet from before they opened it for third-party developers. And I think Find My is both advancing a lot, but it's still early when we think about, we built actually a tracker for sunglasses that you put in the back of like Croquis or something like that.
Yeah.
The issue was it was kind of big and kind of bulky. But I mean, if you take me, sunglasses, I can't buy fancy sunglasses because I will lose them.
Yeah,
so I need like a very compact tracker on my sunglasses and some key items. For anybody, it might be their specific key to some certain thing or whatever it is. So there's a lot of interesting use cases. And again, battery makes all the difference, because sometimes it's like you don't plan when you're going to lose something. Maybe it's going to be in 2 years.
Yes.
So having an ability to do a quick recharge. I would love it if Apple opened charging off the phone via wireless, which they do allow on the MagSafe battery pack from a couple of years ago. It's the one product that could charge from the phone to the battery pack.
Oh, interesting.
So the technology is kind of there, but that would be really nice. Like, boom, yep, charging, boom, charged.
Yeah. Speaking of tracking, you kind of mentioned the glasses. These probably cost $600 in terms of, you get the transition lenses. They have a prescription in there. This is an expensive device that I never want to lose. And occasionally it does happen. So having that, kind of in the tip here, like some sort of tracking, would be amazing for just different devices. I think everything should have tracking in it.
If you have something that's a technology product to begin with and it costs that much, you want to kind of know where it is.
Totally.
And it's often not that you even lose things. It's just like, it's the morning, you're headed to work or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just doing that little scramble of where did I leave my thing? You're going to find it somewhere. It's not like an existential situation, but it could burn you 10 minutes and then you're late to a meeting.
Exactly.
I'm not sure I'm going to do a product pitch here, because product request. I put an AirTag in the case here of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, and it kind of fits. The glasses still fit in fine, but it's a little snug. Would love something like this.
We've discussed doing that. It's a natural extension of our line, so we've definitely discussed it. A lot of people don't end up using cases as much as they plan to, but in this case, especially with smart glasses, something that really is so expensive and you don't want to mess up, it makes a lot of sense, actually.
And they're going to get more and more expensive as time goes on when they put displays in there.
Yeah, and it's just another layer of redundancy of tracking in that, of tracking in the glasses. At the very least, you won't lose your case.
Very nice. So Nomad sells a lot of products, a wide range of accessories. What is the most popular thing that you sell? Is it cases? Is it watch bands?
Great question. So that's changed over the years, and it continues to change. And there are times where the product hits a demand curve, and we see a tremendous amount of demand for something new or something hyper innovative. We do a lot of innovative stuff. We launched with cables originally. And then when we launched our Apple Watch products in 2015, which we began working on in 2014 before they even launched, it was just the Apple Watch took over immediately. There are these press articles at the time, 10 reasons why Apple Watch will be a failure. I wanted to send those writers a bottle of champagne. I mean, you wouldn't believe, we were selling so many Apple Watch products. It was phenomenal. And there were all these questions. Well, is it gonna, what? It's not, no, it's battery sucks, all these things. I'm like, guys, do you remember the first iPhone? No 3G. No app store, no this, no that. It was
$500.
It was really limited.
Yeah. It was $500 back in the day.
And it had, I can't even remember if it had, oh gosh, it was so limited. And yet, if 3G was around at that time, they just didn't have it. And I think we need to we think forward. We think, okay, the first Apple Watch, I think they actually did a phenomenally great job on it.
Yeah.
Something that's been really cool about the Apple Watch is its lugs have stayed the same more or less over these past 11 years or so. So an Apple Watch band from years ago will still work. So an iPhone case generally is 1 season, if you're really lucky, maybe 2. And so I say it's like in dog years. Every year in a case but it's like 15 years, you know? So
Very true.
They just age quickly. And with the Apple Watch bands, they last a long time. So we sell some really premium bands, and it can be worth the investment in the materials and the quality, because you can have this for a long time. Another thing is, with traditional watches, you differentiate with the watch itself. Someone gets a Rolex, someone gets a Omega, whatever. That's the band is sort of an afterthought. With Apple Watches, sure, you can choose the Ultra or whatnot, but generally everyone has the same watch.
Right.
So your way to differentiate your personality, your aesthetic, your touch, your vibe actually lives within the band. So the band is perhaps more important than ever before. So we found a lot of opportunity to expand our range, to offer really high-end materials, really high-end precision. We have a history of taking things very seriously, and it's almost like, guys, it's just a cable. Like, why are you taking it so seriously? It's like, it's not just a cable. This is the tool for you. It's an incredibly important tool. This band is an incredibly important part of your watch program. You know, we're thinking like, you know, we're filling the void of something like a Rolex or something like that when we build our bands. So we come into it with a lot of engineering, a lot of discussion on materials and fit, a lot of testing, a lot of iterations, and a lot of really cool designs that we really believe in.
Totally.
I think, but the one I've been using for like 3 or 4 years now is the leather band for Apple Watch Ultra.
Nice.
And the patina's aged super nicely. I have 0 problems with it. It stays very secure on my wrist, and it looks fantastic.
By the way, this is not a paid sponsorship segment. We're just love Nomad.
You ask about what's selling best. That band, actually in the black lugs version of it, and that one did well too. For a couple years, held it down as the top seller. It was we joked about how long it kept on holding on for, because it just was. It's really nice leather. You know, it's really crisp. It's 6th generation tannery American leather.
Yeah,
really phenomenal.
It's a very impressive band. I love using this one. It's a tie between that and the titanium band.
Yeah,
I use that one a lot too.
Titanium band was really strong as well.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is, you know, when Max pitched running Nomad articles, like, oh, there's a new Nomad product getting announced, and writing it, I was like, okay, is there going to be an audience for it? And then we look at the affiliate links that we use. You know, that's how we track, like, oh, is this thing actually selling when we write an article? There was just like a lot of checkouts, and I was like, oh, there's a following here.
Right.
And whenever you guys announce stuff, it's always it takes off more than we had initially expected. So we're gonna keep writing about Nomad.
I appreciate it, and we're gonna keep on delivering. We take the feedback and ideas and opportunity, and we're constantly working on everything. Everything's constantly in a new iteration or improvement or a fine detail to work on.
Totally. Kind of shouting out you were talking about the original iPhone and how far things have come with both the Apple Watch and the original iPhone. Every year I go to the Apple store and I see the SVP of marketing, Jaws.
Yeah.
And we have a tradition now where I take the iPhone 1, because I still have the iPhone 1, and the latest iPhone, I usually, you know, review it, and I have it on day 1, and we do a side-by-side portrait photo.
It's crazy.
We have it on the screen right now. Yeah, you can see it in the feed, and so like, look at that quality, the HDR, the lighting, and then I love bringing the iPhone 1 up to people and saying, you want to take a selfie, because they're mesmerized by how tiny the old iPhone is, and then they realize there is no selfie camera. So way back,
I have one in my drawer at my office, and I pull it out every once in a while for that shocker.
Yes.
Of the size. And then you look at the size, but then you look at the screen, because there's so much more, there's so much more space surrounding it. And I think the screen size now is probably double the real estate.
100%.
And it's just crazy. The funny thing is, at the time, it was actually probably one of the bigger phones out there.
Yes.
Right? This big tablet screen.
It was a revolution.
you know. And sure enough, I don't know if they're gonna get much larger from this point. Of course, there are the rumors of the Fold.
We were just talking about that before you came. Yeah.
Which I don't know what I think about. I've used Samsung ones, and I find them very cool and interesting. And if they can really function and do that. Part of it to me seems like something Apple wouldn't do. They have that minimalist, strict aspect to them, but they also do things very well. And if things are heading in that direction, maybe it's that classic thing where Apple's late to do it, and then everyone's like, Apple invented the folding phone.
Right. The no crease foldable is what.
Yeah.
What's your opinion? iPhone Fold or iFold? What do you think it should be called?
Gosh, I don't think they do the iFold. I think they're too.
It has to be iPhone.
They're too clean for that.
That's true. Yeah, they wouldn't drop the name iPhone.
Apple's interesting to me. They're such an innovative company, and they often can be the first to do things, but they can also wait to do them right. And I think that this one of those times. Do they leapfrog? Is there something else we haven't realized, or do they bring the feature aspect to it that's what we're really looking for? I don't know. It's a fun one. I'll tell you what, making cases for it is going to be a lot of fun, as we like to say.
It's going to be interesting because there's a lot of newness out there for this. Like all the accessories kind of have to be refreshed. It's going to be, if they actually come out with it. This past year was the last year I would buy an iPhone Pro Max. Right? That's my go-to.
Yeah.
And now, that's the early adopters, early tech adopters here.
Yeah.
We're just going to move on to the Fold. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the normal product line. They're going to have to shake that up because there's going to be consumers who are gravitating towards the Fold.
I think it gives, in that, myself being one of them, and I think that it gives accessory makers like ourselves a good challenge. So I actually embrace it. I look forward to it. Usually when there's a new platform like this, whether it's the Apple Watch, AirPods, I'm a huge AirPod user, love AirPods. It's an opportunity because also it refreshes the slate because there's a lot of copycats and stuff. So it allows us to go and do our best work, which is innovating from a pure point of what we believe in and our experience and feedback and all these different things. We look at everything. And so that bit of a refresh, I think, gives an advantage to people who are innovative players because it's not just like, rinse, repeat, people copying what others are already doing successfully. So I would actually embrace it. I can tell you what, though, it's going to be a heck of a chaotic R&D program, figuring all these things out, waiting. And of course, with Apple, you never know exactly what's coming. They do such a good job keeping things on lockdown. Absolute respect for them doing that.
Sure.
If you ever want to tell someone a secret, tell Apple.
That is true. I tell my deepest, darkest secrets. It's interesting because like people see leaks of new iPhones every year, but what they don't realize is the new product categories, they keep hidden very, very well, right? You look at the iWatch, the rumored iWatch, right? There were concepts out there, but no one leaked the actual the watch.
Is it going to be round or square? I mean, that was a question going into it for until they debuted. I think it was in September 2024 or 2014.
Right.
Moto 360 had that square look or that round look,
the
circular display, and
it was like kind of only like Pebble doing square watches at the time, I think.
Right. There was
there weren't very
Android Wear with
a couple.
Samsung,
LG, I think. Yeah.
But we didn't know where they were going, and they kept everything locked down. So when there's new product categories, iPad, Apple, Vision Pro, we kind of don't see those leaks that we see when like a version 2 comes out.
It's wild. And you mentioned Pebble, and we are big Pebble fans. We actually built a charge key, the little portable cable, for the Pebble Time, I think it was back in the day. And Pebble's just relaunching, and so
we actually have Eric coming on the show tomorrow.
Oh, great! Yeah.
So
we're connected with them on some stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic of conversation.
A great show tease. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, perfect. I've got one question for you. It's kind of like a two-parter, I suppose. So the first half is there a product category that you guys are excited to eventually get into? Like, is there something you make so many different things? Is there something you guys are like exploring heavily that you want to eventually get into?
Well-
And then sort of the second half is, where are you seeing like demand for certain products? Because like I know people demanded Pixel Watch bands from you guys forever, and people want like Samsung Fold cases from you. Like, is there something that a lot of like you're hearing from customer feedback that like, you know, people are generally interested in?
We get a lot of feedback about requests, and we have to be careful what we go into. Sometimes people say we're an iPhone company, iPhone accessories for Apple. We're not. They are our primary market, but from the get-go and beginning, we've always been building for Android as well, and of course with USB-C now, everything is for everything, and I love that because we want to outfit everyone everywhere. And when it comes to things like watches that have their custom lugs and so forth, we need to be careful because there's a lot of R&D goes into this. We've been chatting with a smartwatch, a really good one, and I shouldn't say its name, and it's doing really, really well. But when we think about, okay, how is its sales really going to perform? You got to keep in mind that it also depends on how many people are building for that. If not that many, sometimes niches can be valuable. We've got stuff going for Garmin. You know, a lot of the real power users in the outdoor space, like take my sister. She's just an extreme mountain biker, hiker, name it. The Apple Watch, as good as its battery is, it can't keep up with her.
Even the Ultra.
Yeah, she just does massive. She'll do a century ride, 100-mile ride, in these things, and in the triathletes. Now, mind you, they're improving their battery a lot, but Garmin's still got some good space there. But so it's tricky for us to do everything. We want to be careful, but we do constantly explore. In terms of stuff on the horizon, we mentioned Find My. That's a huge category. We recently launched our little Find My wallet with goes on the back of the phone. I've got the Folio wallet, so I'm not using it right now. But this has Find My, so you can ping it from your phone. Find it from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to fit a few more cards. I've got the Costanza Folio here. Organization is a big thing. Things that you carry and bring with you. Remote internet access and powering those devices is a big thing. So we have a lot of good stuff in the works. I think Nomad as a brand is as relevant now as it was when we started 14 years ago. It's crazy, it's 2026 now, because when this digital nomadism has become so in vogue over the past 10 years. But in 2012, 13, digital nomad didn't have that whole digital aspect, and it's like this nomadism has become more and more and more a thing. And so we've found our products in the story that we were telling then. I see things that we said and wrote 14 years ago, and they're almost more accurate today. I used to say how USB-C ports are everywhere, and it's like, kinda, but they're USB-A and they're really slow. I remember one time plugging into a USB port at a bar TV, and it like immediately took over the screen, and it said like there's like sports program, and it like said third-party device plugged in or whatever, and then sure enough, you're also charging at 5 watts, which is so slow.
So slow.
So now with USB-C, you can fast charge. Even I was on an airplane recently charging my computer with a charge key from the in-seat little power thing. And I got from 0 to 20% on the MacBook Air, and I don't know if it was 30 minutes or whatever it was, but 30% on a MacBook Air is going to give you a couple hours of battery, and I could even, then charge off it to my phone if I need to keep on charging. So there's so much you can do now. And that story of USB-C ports are everywhere is becoming more and more true. So that's why I still love our charge key. I bring it. If I give something out to somebody, it's the charge key. I know it's going to be useful for them.
It's super useful on flights that still have USB-A,
yeah.
and a kind of stuck situation. My hotel room has USB-C connectors, which is very rare. So most hotel rooms,
incredible.
I'm still seeing in some hotel rooms that are not inexpensive, the 30-pin dock with an iPhone.
Oh my God, I know.
Right? And I'm just like, what era am I in right now?
I know. So we were very early, the first that we know of, to build a cable that had the adapters, USB-C cable with the adapters on both sides for A and micro, with C core. That was like 7 or 8 years ago at this point. And I always travel with one because you're in flying or in an old car or a hotel room, you want to have that A on you. And annoyingly, you buy a flashlight, a outdoor light or whatever it is, so many things still have USB micro USB in because it's just so deep in the supply chain. Less so now, but I still get things that I charge with micro USB A to micro, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It kills me inside a little bit when I run into that. It drives me insane. I just won't use the product. Like I've got an old Kindle that's micro USB. I just won't read books now.
I don't buy. It's one of my parameters is like, is it USB-C or not? These,
Right.
You know, if you're going, and so it's a really important thing if you're developing, you need to, because that universal standard is just critical. And it's like, I've passed up on great products because I do not want more complexity in my life on charging.
Totally.
And I have lots of cables around, so if it's a problem,
As
for me,
we
it's a
all
problem
do.
for others.
Well, thank you for being our very first
Yeah.
guest on the Shortcut
Yeah,
live
of
show.
course.
I don't know if you ever find yourself in New York City,
Oh yeah.
but yes, that's great news. We're opening up an office to do these style shows for an hour once a day. We're doing 2 hours at CES this week, but we're going to do once a day a daily show. So
Great.
thank you for being our
Yeah,
first guest.
absolutely. It's been great to be here with you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks, Noah.
It's stopped by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And appreciate it. Great show. Have a great week.
Thank you. Thanks.
Awesome.
And have a great rest of the CES.
Yeah.
Have any last shout outs on these products?
Yeah.
Got Stratos band here.
And where can we buy these? It's
Just nomadgoods.com would be the best place to go about it.
Right.
There's the charge key.
love it.
Yeah. And tracking card pro.
Amazing.
And we'll do shortcut 30 as a discount code for some
Oh,
lucky guests. I'll
Love that.
throw a few uses in that. So
Yeah.
shortcut
Fantastic.
30.
Shortcut 30.
30.
Love it. 30. All right. We'll post that in the show
I'm gonna grab a
notes.
selfie real quick in real time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Something live here. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Amazing.
All right,
Awesome,
guys.
Noah.
Thanks for being the first guest. Give Noah a round of applause.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Live from CES. He has tons of gadgets, tons of gear, and even donned the
I'll leave
gold
that
jacket.
with you here. Hey,
Thank you.
come on, team player over here.
Right? You are. And we didn't plan that, so he could have said no. But what a team player.
You're ready to send them all back to.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Amazon. We weren't going to use it, but now I guess we are. So that is very cool. Yeah. And we're going to continue talking about CES. We do a 2-hour live stream every day here, and we are about an hour and a half in, so we still got time to talk about more CES products here and just in general, just
Yep.
Yeah. So Max, what have you seen that we haven't talked about yet that you love and is next on the rundown? I have to say, I think it took me by surprise. I was going to ask this from the show.
Yeah. Look, it's bleeding edge technology. This is what we cover.
It is, and yeah, tell us about the Asus ROG, which stands for Republic of Gamers, Neo Core Wi-Fi router. Again, not the most groundbreaking tech in the world until you realize what it does. It's the first of its kind. Tell me about this.
This is the very first router with Wi-Fi 8 built into it. Now, this comes at a time when Wi-Fi 7 isn't even widely adopted yet.
So Wi-Fi 7 is pretty much out because Wi-Fi 8's taken over.
Yeah,
Six-
it's like kind of out, but like the Wi-Fi consortium, or however you say that,
right.
they have decided that we also need to prioritize Wi-Fi 8.
Wi-Fi 8. So you're saying Wi-Fi 6.7 is dead. Wi-Fi 6.7.
We're gonna just end the show, I think.
No, you know what? It's already in the banner. There we go. It's been said. It's been adopted. Wi-Fi 8 is here. Wi-Fi 6.7 is dead. Look how fast the control room is with that.
I noticed.
Right.
No, so Wi-Fi 8, it's a little bit more stable. It's a little bit more powerful. It'll help you reach your Wi-Fi signal in a few more rooms. And this router looks sick. And like, that's kind of the whole story. It has Wi-Fi 8 in it. And it's, how do you say the name of the shape, Kevin? We had to look this up before the show started.
Wow.
The
That's a word.
hexagonal bipyramid.
16 sides?
16 sides.
That's why not, you know?
Yeah. It's a D&D die. It's a D&D dice, basically. And there's a little bit of footage of me tossing it up in the air, like one also.
That looks like it's going to be placed in my closet where my other router is.
Yeah.
And kill my other router.
It's
threatening.
It's going to kill something. It may kill you one day.
I'm afraid. I'm going to lock that door.
They actually had a cool wall mount for it also at the booth, so you could just like hook one of those like empty wire parts onto the wall and just have all your Wi-Fi beaming out.
Amazing.
Interesting. It looks right out of like Star Wars or something.
And so it does look better. The thing about Asus routers and all gaming routers is they all look like those weird spider things upside down. This one doesn't have any of those antennas.
Right.
I think is a huge.
I don't miss those antennas.
Yeah.
No, same. I was just gonna say this looks so much better than that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I was gonna ask from the show. I was like, is this interesting enough? But then I realized 6.7 was dead. So there we go.
6.7 is dead. We are killing 6.7 right now.
There you go.
Is dead.
Pour one out. We'll have a little funeral for Wi-Fi 6.7. Even though, like you said, Wi-Fi 7 routers are out there. It's just not a lot of people have upgraded because you're stuck on Wi-Fi 4.
There was a huge push to Wi-Fi 6 and 6E for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. And like they kind of took their time with it. And then Wi-Fi 7 came around and there was another slower push. And now we have Wi-Fi 8.
Amazing. So yeah, you saw a video of Kevin. You did drop it, which is good.
I did not drop it.
Right.
Yeah.
Kevin may be known for throwing stuff around.
Did he try to dribble it or something?
You know what? Yeah, there we go. There's the video.
Yeah,
love that.
Slow down a little bit.
Whenever Kevin does that, I always my heart skips a beat. But
yeah, no, that made me panic, and that's just video.
Should we roll the clip of you dropping a Switch 2?
No, the control room does not have that clip, and that's okay
I will
with me.
provide with them just momentarily.
Kevin slowed down that clip during the Nintendo Switch launch. I was unboxing it, so not my fault. It was the boxing. It was Nintendo's.
Right. No, of course. Yeah, it was definitely not your fault at all.
Live. I was doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Live video, and the Switch 2 landed on my coffee table in a violent way.
Yes,
but it survived. And now I have a D-brand skin on there, a case on there, and a screen protector. So thank you, D-brand, for saving my Switch 2 from future incidents. So, all right, we're going to move on to the next thing that we're seeing at CES. We're taking your feedback. We're encouraging your comments on all the platforms. We're on X. We're on YouTube. We are on Instagram. Anything where you're at, we're at. And we're doing a daily live show. So encouraging these comments. We also encourage emojis. We are very pro emoji here.
We are pro emoji, which it took, when I got hired, it took me a while to get used to that.
I remember this. And every staffer that we've hired is like, are the emojis necessary?
Well, it's just too many.
It's a lot. We've cut down on the emojis by probably 90%. And there are so many emojis. So I appreciate that.
Slider.
It was probably your Mickey reference from a
Yes.
couple, like an hour ago. So we are still live at CES. I retweeted this, so we're seeing more comments come in. So thank you for joining us.
We had another comment just there. Any leaks about the Galaxy S26?
You know what? You
Fuck
did some
Daddy
reporting.
360.
Thank you for, we see you in the comments every day. Thank you for that very insightful question. Max produced a story, I want to say it was like a month ago. It was right before the break for the holidays. And it was that we are going to see an S26. I don't think I've seen a lot of very credible renders yet. But I think the date's going to be a little bit later than the usual, like late January time.
Right. So the rumor is launch date's probably going to be around mid to late February, maybe early March, if it gets delayed that much.
Yes.
The price may wind up going up just a tad, maybe around $50. The designs are going to probably remain the same. It doesn't look like we're getting a sequel to the S25 Edge yet. That's probably going to come later this year, if at all.
It feels like that's a wait and see to see what happens.
It's a big wait and see. There was a rumor that the S26 Plus would have been replaced by the Edge. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen anymore. So it's going to be 26, S26 Plus, and obviously the S26 Ultra. That one will still have an S Pen. It's going to get an even bigger camera bump. So I guess there could be some camera improvements somewhere. Right now, it looks like it's going to be the same hardware as last year, which, I feel like there's some room for improvement on Samsung cameras, but we will see
100%.
what happens.
It's people knock it for having the same camera module again and again.
Every picture just looks the same across like the past 3 or 4 generations of phones.
They're due for an upgrade. I think
Yes.
what they've been tweaking is the post processing has gotten better, but the actual,
Which is fine. Like it's more power to them. But I'm also like, how about some fresh hardware? Like, give me a little. I feel like we can make this video a little bit clearer, right?
right. And we discussed this yesterday, where some people knock the camera bump. I want the thickest camera bump out there, but a thinner phone for the rest of the design,
I
like the
right.
iPhone Air.
Yeah, exactly.
with
And the Ultra's already like one of the thickest phones that you
It
can
is.
buy. It's
Right.
it is very chunky to hold.
I'm okay with that. I'll tell you a little bit, a brief story about LG. LG's not in phones anymore, so this kind of story is even more relevant in terms of what happens when manufacturers design a phone. I, was at a dinner with someone from LG. It was a little round table thing that was happening, and I was in Korea, and someone asked, "Why is your camera sensor smaller than Samsung and everybody else's sensor that's out there?" And he was in charge of camera, right? That was his department. And he sheepishly said, "Design team won," right? So there's always a battle between design and the camera team, because the camera team wants to have the best possible camera in there,
Right.
and the design team wants the thin, sexy phone. And
You can't
a lot
have both.
you can't have both. The physics are not there, especially this was probably 2017, so going a little bit back when LG was involved in phones. And now look at them. That's not a product category for them anymore.
Right.
So I find that a lot of times that we're not seeing changes in the phones because people often put in their reviews, it's what we do. All their publications put in their reviews, pros and cons. Well, let's mention the con. It has a camera bump. It's like, no, unless you're wasting the space, I want that camera bump. So that's just my brief take, and hopefully people don't fall down that same, they don't have that same trajectory that LG had, where they tried to do cool design, and they had legit cool designs, but
Yes,
they
they did.
sacrificed it for they have lack of performance.
Right. It was the performance. It was the software. There were a lot of things wrong with LG.
It's amazing what the heads of departments will tell you when you're just like chowing down and asking them questions. So
The design team
kind of
won.
like design team one. It rings very true in all technology that I see. It taught me when I was at a younger reporting age, like what really happens at these companies.
Back when
So,
you used to write for newspapers and
and the Telegraph.
the Telegraph.
You have to run into a payphone to follow your story.
Yes. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
just like
Yeah.
that. All right. So next thing in the rundown is we're back to LG.
No, we're
Okay.
Smart Lock U400.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
So there was a lot of hype for this online. I saw there were plenty of people that were excited about this smart lock. It looks just like any other smart lock. It is the Aqara Smart Lock U400. What makes it special is it has ultra wideband technology built into it that allows you to simply walk up to your door and open your door, and that's it. It doesn't. You don't need to punch in anything. You don't have to scan your thumbprint. None of that. You just simply walk up to your door. It
So we see
uses-
some people have face unlock, but this is more using your phone as a beacon.
That's right. So iPhones have a technology called ultra wideband built into them. There's plenty of Android phones that have them now too. This one in particular uses the iPhone's UWB sensor in it, and or antenna, and it makes it very easy to unlock your door. So it looks for an identifier from within 1 to 2 feet away from the smart lock. If it sees your phone and detects that you're a trusted person, it'll just unlock. If if those signals don't align well, you're not going to get in your door. But I've heard some of our friends say online that it worked well in their demos. We obviously still need to get in the office and test it.
Sure.
But it seems like a very seamless way to secure your door, and still, like, if your hands are full of groceries and your iPhone's in your
Oh,
pocket, you can just do this on the door handle and just make your way
a
in.
little shimmy and
Just a little shimmy, exactly.
love it. The obvious question And I asked this knowing it's probably a non-issue, but it's going to be the first thing that people ask. And we encourage your comments if you're going to ask this type of question or any other thing that you want to see at CES or want to ask us. But the question is going to be, what if the bad guy is chasing after you and this door remains open? Is it quick to lock? What happens on the back end?
The second that the door shuts, the lock should lock itself.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I know people had that question with cars that automatically unlocked, right?
Right.
Same thing of like, I'm trying to get in my car and, it's not a key-based system anymore. But again, that was a non-issue, but I heard that kind of phrasing over and over again.
And if like somebody steals your phone, they can get into your house.
Sure.
But like they could also steal your house keys.
And that's why they upsell you on the camera.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. That's the security camera. So very interesting technology. Where'd you see that at? Was that at Showstoppers last night?
It's been on the show floor. They had a pre-announcement, so they issued a press release and all that. They're floating around here somewhere. I'm sure in the smart home section. I'm gonna have to go find them to get some nice pictures of it. And
I will
maybe
say,
I'll give it a shot. But
a lot of the smart home technology, if you buy it on Amazon, even from name brand companies, a lot of times it supports Alexa. A lot of times it supports Google Home. It doesn't always support Apple, their ecosystem, their Apple Home stuff.
Right.
So the fact that they have UWB technology, also wideband, is good.
And it ties into Apple Home Key and everything, so you can like fire up the Home app. You can unlock your door if you want for somebody. If you're like sitting in your house,
super.
Yeah, it's a very interesting smart lock. It looks a little bit boring, but the underlying tech is very cool.
Very cool. Now we're going to turn to the LG Ultra Gear Evo.
And we're going to give Kevin a second because I think he has to readjust his camera here.
Of course, because
Noah's a tall guy.
Noah's a tall guy.
That always throws me off. I met him like a year ago, I think, and I completely forgot how tall he was. I was like, holy crap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, tall guy. We are going to talk about the LG Ultra Gear Evo GX9 39-inch. It's a gaming monitor.
I was going to say, are you going to read off the rest of that name?
Yes. GX9. It's fine.
No. We got to keep it official for all the searches.
Okay.
39GX950B. You can't forget the B.
Who would have
Do
won the
not
award?
forget the B.
Don't forget the B. You get it
for the longest model game.
Right. So
I don't know, but we should figure that out.
Yeah.
So Kevin, tell us about this. It's LG's AI gaming monitor. What makes it have AI? Is it good AI? Is it bad AI?
Okay.
Tell us about this, because our audience just runs through gaming monitor deals and they snap up Ultra Gear monitors because they're usually on sale after like a year or two of being on the market, sometimes 3 years, for like next to nothing. So tell us about what they can expect if they're gonna pre-order this type of device.
Okay. So you know how most TVs these days have upscaling to get them to 4K if you're watching like, I don't know, a non-remastered episode of Seinfeld or something like that. Yeah, something that was shot at like HD, right?
Right. It was on the cusp of,
or SD.
That was SD.
Yeah.
And it was on the cusp of like being not 4:3, but 16:9.
Yeah. So this thing does the same thing. Just it has an AI chip inside, is what they say. But It's basically a lower end LG AI processor from other TVs. And you could upscale content, like whatever you're playing, even without like any fixes from like your computer.
Right. Oh, okay. We see it on the screen here.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
It's wide. Yeah. Ultra wide.
There's two sides. There's a little red line in between, and the left side, you can see. Well, you can't really see it because now there's a lot of jiggly happening, but it's like it's lower resolution over there, and it's sharper on the right side. That's where the AI upscaling comes from.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What game were you playing here to test it out?
This was like some sort of, I would say Chinese, I guess, or Korean. It was like a sim game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Is there anti-screen tearing? What's the tech backing it? Is like, sometimes we see NVIDIA G-Sync, AMD has the
AMD
FreeSync.
FSR or
Yes.
FreeSync.
Yeah.
Well, this is different than that.
Okay.
G-Sync is like about smoother frame rate and smoothing out like any hitches in your frame rate. This is just purely for upscaling. So like I asked them, how does it interact with NVIDIA DLSS or FSR, which is our upscaling technology? They really say, honestly. So, and also PS5 has its own version with PSR, right? PSSR, something like that.
Yeah, PSSR. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But it looks very impressive because it's all real time. Like you saw the way it was jiggling. The
Right.
guy was like moving around the tree and stuff. Yeah, it's very impressive. So I'm excited, and it's like you can basically play with low power hardware and still get a 5K resolution.
Right.
That's where it really comes in.
Running through the specs, 39 inches, a 5K gaming monitor, 144 hertz refresh rate, and that AI upscaling. That is like, it's what we're seeing time and time again from the technology on the show floor at CES, which is it's the necessary part of AI. That's not AI slop, but it's hardware that is able to kind of, without cutting corners, it's the ability to, make your tech better. So we love that. And yeah, does it have a price? A lot of times prices at CES don't get announced right away, but I don't think we have a price yet for this LG Ultra Gear Evo GX9 39-inch gaming monitor. But it looks like it's going to be expensive just because it's the latest and greatest, but we will track prices as we do on the shortcut.com. So Kevin's pulling up that info in real time. We're taking all the breaking news. I just retweeted this out there. So we're getting lots of new joiners.
Yeah,
Welcome to the live stream. And we're taking your questions at CES. You can see CES behind us happening in real time. It's day 2 of the show floor opening, day 3 of us live streaming. And we have one more day to go of live streaming. And tomorrow will be the Shortcut CES Awards.
Yes, it will. And we're all very excited.
Yeah. So we're taking your questions. And then we're going to talk about, in the last, I'd say, 10 minutes that we have, the Roborock, the latest and greatest product. It looks like something from mythological fantasy books.
A little bit. It definitely leans in that direction, I would say.
And it ties into this question that we have from Sir Case. Are there robots at CES? Well, there are a lot of robots. We see them on the show floor, and they come in all shapes and sizes, delivery robots. We see the walking robots that are out there. A lot of them are on wheels, but we see dogs, which is always kind of trippy. So
It's a little bit creepy, the robotic dogs.
the robot dog armies are a little much.
Dancing in formation, marching in formation.
We see them every year, and it's a little nutty. But
Yesterday we saw like a Ratchet robot, like a weird fox-looking thing.
it looked like the Ratchet from Ratchet and
Lombax.
Clank, and that was at the NVIDIA booth. We will serve up more robot videos for you. Anything you ask about at CES, because we're about to hit the show floor again. But tell us about Roborock's robot and what it does. It's something that will help you clean your home.
Yes, it will. So there's been an evolution in robotic vacuum cleaners over the past few years, where they're just like started to grow like limbs, and to like pick up socks, and they can like get into like every crack and crevice of your floor. One of the big challenges with robotic vacuum cleaners is they can't clean your stairs. So if you have like a carpeted staircase in your home, there's no shot of it being vacuumed unless you do it manually. So companies have been trying to figure out how to get around that, and the only way to do it is to give it legs. So with the Saros Rover vacuum cleaner from Roborock, you get like frog-like legs, I guess. It looks like it's gonna like jump kind of from like lily pad to lily pad a little bit, but it can mount a pretty high stair, and it can like keep going. So it'll make its way across the surface of each stair and then climb back up, and it'll climb back down. So
it does both directions. It doesn't get stuck at any point.
Yes, it's a concept for now, but it's something that they're working on actively to like ship it. Like they're probably going to ship something like this,
right,
in the near future.
I mean, their previous flagship one, or, the top of the line, had an arm come out to pick up socks and everything.
Exactly.
And that was a concept for a little while, and then they did ship
And then
it.
it ships, yes. So
Right.
this will be similar. It sounds like this one's probably closer to production than other concepts that we've seen.
Mhm.
It takes a long time for it to try to mount up a step.
Yeah.
But like if you don't want to vacuum at all, I feel like most people will be fine with the amount of time it takes to clean.
You know what I've known people to do, not just manually have to pick up their robot vacuum and go to a different floor, because if you're in an apartment, you kind of don't get it. There's usually not a lot of steps. But if you're in
Right.
a multi-story family home,
Yeah.
you have to do that with 3, sometimes 4 floors if you include the basement.
Exactly.
Right? And some people have gone to the lens of like, well, we have a newer model vacuum for downstairs and the older model that we're still using for upstairs. And it's like, instead of having multiple vacuums, robot vacuums,
You could technically have one.
you could have one. It's an all-in-one for the multi-story home.
Exactly.
So
And it looks very futuristic. It's wild to watch it climb up the stairs. Just like the way that it like positions its legs, it looks a little bit like creepy almost. But
Yeah.
like I mean, if it works, it works. Like I've certainly like the vacuum cleaner I've been using from EcoVacs like struggles to like sort of climb up like over like a rug that we have in the
Short
living room.
wires and everything, right?
Right, exactly. And it just like it freaks out. This one will have no problem with any of that.
Right. Yeah. It's all based on, I have my robot vacuum is a Neato vacuum. Neato doesn't exist anymore.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever even heard of
What's
that.
that brand? Yeah.
Yeah, Neato. We got it for the holiday gift guide several years ago at Tech Radar, and I used it every once in a while and just got an email over the holidays of like, this is being deactivated, so I can't even use it anymore, except on manual mode. So
Whoa.
you want to go with a trusted brand. There's a lot of ones out there. Roborock is probably taken over as like the number one brand now that Roomba is
RIP.
no longer with us. And so Roborock, EcoVac you mentioned is a good brand.
Yes.
Dreamy is a good brand that's out there that has, I checked out a bunch of Dreamy stuff yesterday. We're going to have it on the show tomorrow. They're creating a whole ecosystem, right? They have rings, smart rings and everything. They have security cameras. So it's interesting to see what the major players in the vacuum market are doing. One thing I do suggest, if you're, not in the market for one that has frog legs, as you described it, but you want like a standard vacuum, don't cheap out and go with a robot vacuum that doesn't self-clean. Self-cleaning, where it goes to kind of like a little home base and takes the dirt out and puts it kind of in a bag or a bin of some sort, it's usually like $100 more these days. It's not much more expensive. But not having to open a little door and then have to shake the robot vacuum container into the trash can, it always gets all over. So whenever Black Friday comes up and there's some discounts, we almost exclusively promote the ones that are self-cleaning robot vacuums. So go with that. That's our biggest tip for robot vacuums out there.
It is one of the nicest advantages to having a premium robotic vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
It docks itself, and then you hear the thing fire up, and it just sucks all the dirt out, and it just gets loaded into a bag, and you just take that out. It's very easy.
Yeah, it's the way to go. I know they used to be, the differentiation between non-self-cleaning and self-cleaning used to be like $300.
Right.
And I could see that swaying some people like, oh yeah, I'll get some dirt and grime all over my kitchen where I have the trash can. I did that for a number of years, but yeah, this is it's only $100 more these days. Definitely splurge on not having to get dust everywhere.
100%.
We're coming up to the last 5 minutes of our live show. So please tune in tomorrow where we'll have the Shortcut Awards. I have one right here. We already gave one to NVIDIA, but we'll have the full list out. That was for DLSS 4.5, but we have more awards to go, and we're going to be dropping these off at the different booths at CES. It's the best of CES, the Shortcut Awards for 2026, and these little placards. We'll have a full article on the site. So, yeah, we have some winners that we have in mind, but we're going to go hit the show floor. We welcome your comments. Continue to leave comments. We'll answer questions tomorrow, and we will we will have a lot more to go. What are you going to check out today? Because now that all the embargoes have lifted, we can kind of, we have a little peace of mind in saying what we're going to check out, because nothing's a trade secret anymore.
Exactly.
What are you going to check out today? What's your thing?
So I've got a few meetings with some companies. The one thing I've been tracking this whole week has just been smart glasses. I'm just so curious what other people are doing with them. And so I'm going to try to find some of the wackiest ones I can. I'm going to go check out some of the kitchen appliances, because I have a mother who was a professional chef, and she's dying to know what's here this year. So I've got to go explore the show floor, see what's going on. That, and I do want to go find some cool robots, because there's always like a random robot that like becomes a viral hit, and I somehow miss it. So I'm going to go find them. Right. I'm after the robots.
Totally. Yeah. The robots, I mean, we saw in the comments, and that's been something that people are definitely looking forward to, because, we've seen like XAI's robots, and, Boston Dynamic has robots. So it's been interesting to see. Are there robots? That's the big question. The answer to that short question is, the short answer is yes. And we are going to find them. Yeah. We're going to try to book one on the show. And
You want to book a robot for the show?
Whoa, what kind of robot are you trying to see? We do have one.
I was going to say, there's one I have in mind.
End on that.
No. That'll be for tomorrow's show.
Okay.
We have to go to the ethics board and HR.
We have to go talk to HR.
We got to go talk to HR and see if we can air that footage of that robot.
No.
Oh, what a show tease for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We have some comments before we close out.
Please.
One is Funk Daddy asked about Galaxy S26 Ultra. Any news?
Right. Yes. So we kind of went over that a little bit earlier in terms of talking about the Galaxy S26, but let's wrap the show up with that, because it should be happening in, we saw rumors, not our reporting. So, but pretty factual stuff, usually from
there's a number of sources out there that generally publish accurate leaks on Samsung products.
They have a good track record,
Yes.
and when you hear multiple publications talk about it, and it's usually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But not January, but February is what we're hearing. But
it's definitely not going to be January. Every rumor that I've read has been mid to late February, might be early March.
Oh, that's pretty late.
It's later than it has been. They used to launch in February around Mobile World Congress in Barcelona.
Very, very good.
And I forget when they made the switch, but then they just started doing it super, super early in January. So like it would just like last year, I think they launched it right after CES.
I think it's based on chipset. So when Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 8 Elite now and so forth comes out, they have a new chipset. That kind of moved the timetable up a lot. So that's one of the reasons. There's a lot of reasons, but yeah, January became a thing. The reason that Samsung didn't announce it at Mobile World Congress, or they used to back in the day, maybe, I don't know, like 7 years ago.
Right.
I used to attend those press conferences in Barcelona. They wanted their own event. They wanted to own the stage, kind of like Apple owns the stage. Whenever Apple does something, Samsung's like, you know what? We're going to do that same thing. So that makes sense. So that's why we're seeing them have their own events, but it also means that they don't have to stick to a particular schedule.
Right. And I think at this point, they're just going to try to reset that. So we're looking at maybe, late February, March, probably a big screen as we've seen over the years, 200 megapixel camera. I think it'll be around a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. S Pen, obviously, still thick, still heavy to hold, but
it's the power.
It is the Ultra. It is the Ultra. So yeah,
that is good.
That's what we got.
Fun little story about the Note, the first Note that came out. That used to be the line with the S Pen. There's an entire video that you can find somewhere on YouTube where the editor, who will remain nameless, called it not the S Pen. He messed up the name a little bit. He called it the Pen S, and just kept saying Pen S.
And on that note,
we'll have more Salacious video tomorrow with robots, and we are live, and we're going to continue to be live tomorrow. We'll have the Shortcut Awards handed out, and we'll talk about that. So, yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in on the live stream. Kevin, thank you for wearing the jacket. This is you're going to join us remotely tomorrow, and yeah.
Oh, am I? Okay.
You're contracted to do it. So
okay.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit us up on theshortcut.com, and yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks to the control team. We hear the music. We're ready to go back on the show floor and look at some more gadgets.
That's it.
Yep.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you.